This video begins the first of many that are going to be speaking out the truths that I write on a daily basis to our email list. And it would be a complete disservice to a man who has done an incredible amount to inspire me and awaken my understanding of reality without speaking about the incredible Mr. Steven Pressfield. This incredible author has written so many books that have inspired me and others to do incredible things and to understand themselves and the creative process more effectively. And no one that I know, there is no author that compares, except for perhaps Yeshua himself, that has had the impact on me that Mr. Steven Pressfield has. And the reason for that is this diagram right here. And if you can absorb all of this, you will have absorbed thousands of words and thousands of hours worthy of conversation to it. And it contains information that comes from Carl Jung and countless other mystical insights and other teachers. And the reason I find it so impactful is that it talks about the resistance that creative professionals face. And that resistance is a emanation of, it is the entangling forces of our ego and our previous identity. And the reason that we can never outperform our ego as creative professionals is that literally this resistance is its attempt to keep us safe within that shell, to keep us in our previous identity. And most importantly, I do believe that there is this self-aware aspect, and with gratitude to Mr. Pressfield, there is this self-aware aspect of ourselves that is seeking to stay in that place and not allow us to unite with the divine and experience the highest forms of reality, because the ego knows it is completely freaking irrelevant. It means nothing in the face of the divine. It is a flea on the back of a cosmic dragon, and that cosmic dragon, with benevolence and greatness and positive intent, is what I'm here to embody in many ways. And that's that force of creation and breathing fire and creating kingdoms. That is what I'm here to do. And that is what all great artists are here to do, is to create their art, to create their magic. And that, I just love that analogy. So when you see here is that resistance is the layer of our consciousness that tries to distract us, that tries to defeat us, that tries to divert our energy into millions of aspects of addiction and distraction and useless time wasting things that don't serve our art, that don't lead us to the destination that we're meant to go towards. And when we begin to transition out of that, we come into the heart mind. We come into that aspect of ourselves that goes beyond the conscious analyzing mind and comes into the feeling space where we can sense and intuit and know deep, powerful truths of incredible peace and power and passion and purpose, because they are resonating literally the frequency of our authentic being, which I believe comes through the connection to the soul, comes through the flow of energy that comes through that soul, and that we authentically are outside of the consciousness that appears to exist from our body, from our ego, from our heart. And as we do that, we transition up into what Steven Pressfield would call, what I resonate with, is the divine ground and the muse. And the muse is an absolutely amazing feminine aspect of reality. And actually, I looked over here because there are a couple of muses I want to highlight quickly. One is my amazing girlfriend, Megan, whose picture rests right over here. And also, here is my muse herself. And she sits on my desk every day. And when I am seeking inspiration, I look to her. And I look to Megan, by the way, who's right here. And this is the feminine divine. This is the essence of our creativity. And I believe that all creativity is an inherently feminine force. All emotion is an inherently feminine force. The masculine is the observer of consciousness. The masculine doesn't feel in the way the feminine does. And I imagine you already know that. And doesn't mean that men and women don't feel or don't observe. We both have those energies and those states of consciousness within us, as you probably already know. And as we tap into those, we create polarity, we create sexual attraction, we create the beautiful experience of life itself. And when we unite with them, we create power. And without going too far deep down another tangent, which we'll go into more further, when you look at Freemasonry and the square and compass and the G, that is the generative principle that exists between masculine and feminine aspects of reality. They know these secrets behind the scenes. And of course, creates babies, creates life. And by uniting those powers, by uniting those energies, we become extremely powerful. So kind of a tangent there. But as we ascend up through this resistance and pass with our force of will and our desire and our love for impact and our love for our craft and the essence we know we're meant to bring into the world, we unite with what Pressfield would call the daemon. And that daemon is that motivating fire within us. And it sounds like demon because it has an incredible intensity to it. And it can torture us and shame us and torture us into really challenging, terrible ways of being if we allow it to, or if we don't do the thing we're meant to do. And that's why people die such terrible deaths, is they don't have the courage to do the thing they know they're meant to do in the world. And as you may know, that is the number one regret of the dying, is not having the guts to do what we know we're meant to do. So inviting you into a much different reality by following through these principles and rising up into the divine ground, drawing inspiration down from the heavens and being that hermetic force in the world, aka Hermes, if you know him. He's traveled up and down through Mount Olympus down to the modern world. And it was also embodied later in the mystery schools through Hermes Trismegistus, and that entity that became Thoth, allegedly, and traveled across the world bringing enlightenment to the masses after the Atlantean age. If you're hip on some of those things, we'll go deeper on that later. But just as a brief teaser, that is the Hermetic way, and embodying that energy of our greatness within, so we can bring that to the world. And the more that we can identify with that inner kingdom, the more that we can find that life force within ourselves and channel that divine ground in, the more our external world will come to mimic and mirror and embody that truth. So as above, so below, as within, so without in the world. As you may already know, these are some of the Hermetic principles. So yes, again, this video is dedicated to the great Steven Pressfield and to these principles. And that's what I'm here to share, because these have been some of the most transformational forces in my life. And if you're around me for more than a few days or a week, then you're going to hear something, you're going to hear some reference to these books of War of Art, Turning Pro, The Artist's Journey, Gates of Fire, his fictional work. It's just, the list goes on and on and on. I just love this man so much. And I hope that you read his books. And if you want to go deeper with some of these principles, then I hope that you subscribe, click below, and stay in contact, because these are the forces of creation that great artists utilize with incredible effect. And we are here to become successful artists. We are here to allow our soul to come into the world. And so I invite you, I encourage you, I send all of my emotional projector energy from a human design perspective to you to amplify that knowing and amplify the necessity of your work getting into the world. So please let that magic out into the world, and please create your art, because it is so, so, so needed. We are all desperately seeking the unique insights and beauty and power and perspective that you uniquely possess. I promise you, the magic is in there. So please share it with the world, and please do the thing you know you're meant to do, because that is how the world changes, and that is how we evolve. So looking at my notes real quick to see if there's anything else I wanted to share. Yeah, I think that's the majority of it. And I do invite you into this reality, and I do hope that you share it, because we need you. The world needs you. Share it. See you next time. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Take care.